You know, I never thought I'd live long enough to say this, but old age is a strange land. You lose people you love, the world around you changes faster than you can keep up, and sometimes, even in the middle of a noisy room, you feel invisible. I'm not here to complain. I'm here to share with you the truth of loneliness, the kind no one really talks about. And maybe, just maybe, if I tell you my stories, you'll understand your elders a little better, or be gentler with yourself as you grow older, too. 1. Loneliness is more common than you think. When my wife passed away, everyone came for the funeral, the flowers, the food afterward. The house was full. But a week later, silence. I remember sitting in my living room one evening, the clock ticking louder than usual, and realizing no one will walk through that door tonight. Outwardly, I still waved to the neighbors, smiled at the cashier, told my children on the phone, I'm fine. But inside, the silence was deafening. And I know I'm not the only one. Seniors everywhere live behind that polite mask. If you see a smile on the outside, don't assume the inside isn't aching. 2. Being surrounded doesn't mean being connected. I remember moving in with my daughter for a while after surgery. Her house was full of laughter. Kids playing, TV on, neighbors stopping by. But one night, as I lay in bed, I thought, no one here knows the jokes I used to tell with my fishing buddies. No one remembers that summer in '62 when the river flooded and we built rafts out of barrels. I wasn't truly alone, but I felt lonely. Because loneliness isn't about numbers, it's about being understood. So if you're younger, don't just count your visits to your elders. Count the moments when you really listened. 3. Loneliness can affect your health. I used to think health was just about food and exercise. But after my wife died, I stopped sleeping well. Some nights I'd stay awake till 3 a.m., staring at old photo albums. My blood pressure rose. My appetite faded. The doctor told me gently, your body is grieving too. He was right. Things changed when a friend invited me to join a walking group. I didn't feel like it at first, but week by week, the fresh air, the company, even just casual chatter about the weather, lifted something off my chest. I slept better. I even started cooking for myself again. Loneliness seeps into your bones if you let it. But connection, even a little, is medicine. 4. Why we often keep it a secret. I'll be honest, saying, I'm lonely feels harder than saying, my back hurts. I grew up in a time when you kept problems to yourself. You didn't burden the kids. You didn't whine. One afternoon, my grandson asked me, Grandpa, do you get lonely? And I almost said, no, of course not. But then I thought, why lie? So I told him, yes, sometimes I do. And you know what he did? He just sat beside me, didn't say much, but his presence was like a blanket over a cold night. That day I realized, admitting loneliness doesn't push people away, it invites them closer. 5. Small steps make a big difference. I didn't fix my loneliness overnight. But I started small. I called an old army buddy once a week. I invited my neighbor over for tea. I began writing down stories from my childhood for my grandchildren. Each little step made my days feel less heavy. My friend Eleanor, who was 80, joined a painting class at the community center. She told me later, I didn't find my inner artist, but I found friends. And that was worth more than any painting. Sometimes, just one small step opens a door you thought was locked forever. 6. Technology can be a lifeline. I used to be terrified of smartphones. Too many buttons, too many things to break. But when my daughter showed me how to make video calls, suddenly I could see the faces of family across the country. I even reconnected with an old school friend. Every Sunday, we video chat. We always ask each other the same question, what made you smile this week? That simple habit keeps us both going. If you're young, please, Be patient when teaching us. You're not teaching us about gadgets. You're teaching us how to stay connected to life. 7. Purpose is the cure to loneliness. You know, loneliness hurts most when you feel useless. When your roles are gone, your job, your partner, you wonder, what am I here for? But I've found that purpose doesn't need to be big. I started volunteering at the library, helping children pick books. One boy looked up at me one day and said, "Thank you, mister." That small moment gave me a reason to get out of bed. So if you're older, ask yourself, what can I still give? A story, a recipe, a memory. And if you're younger, ask your elders, can you teach me something you know? Purpose grows in both directions. If there's one thing I've learned, it's this: loneliness is not a shameful weakness. It's simply the heart's way of saying, I need connection. So to you, the younger generation, call your parents, your grandparents, your old neighbors. Not with pity, but with presence. And to those my age, don't let pride keep you silent. Pick up the phone. Take the small step. It matters more than you think. Now, I want to hear from you. In the comments, tell me, when did you last feel truly connected? What helped you through loneliness? Your words might be the rope someone else needs to climb out of the dark. And if this message touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share it. Because the truth is, none of us are meant to walk alone. Thank you for listening. From someone who's lived a long journey and still believes the greatest medicine in life is kindness.